People destroy each other. To appear, to develop, to disappear. That's the rule for all things. If you're not destroyed by the others, you end up disappearing all by yourself. Why do men die, even the best of them? That's the law of nature. Just think, if death didn't exist, we could still talk to Confucius. But the earth couldn't hold us all. I agree with Chuang Tzu. He thought it right to celebrate the death of his wife and have a good time. In social gatherings, we should honor death, celebrate the victory of dialectic and the disappearance of old things. Socialism will vanish too, give way to communism. We'll have communism for at least a few million years. That doesn't mean we won't know some qualitative changes. After all, quantity changes into quality. Me, I believe in the qualitative leap. Soon I'm going to pay a visit to Marx. Our doctors can't guarantee how long I'll live. It's an objective law. Mortals die. When there was a rural base in Hubei, Hunan, Anhui, how many were we? How many have survived? There were a lot of us then, but there's only a fistful left. And that's not even counting the dead in the Jiangxi Soviets. Jingganshan, Northeast Jiangxi, West Fujian, Hunan, Hubei, and North Shanxi. Old comrades, not many left. During those years, there was no question of salary, no payment of cadres according to a fixed scale. The only thing fixed was food, what one called at the time 10 grams of oil, 15 grams of salt, 1.5 pounds of rice. Already that was extraordinary. In 1925, I was at the Institute for Study of the Peasant Movement. Later, went back to my village to question the poor peasants about their life. They were in misery, nothing at all to eat. I used to play dominoes with one of them. One night I asked him to dinner, and as we chatted before, during, and after eating, I began to see how violent the class struggle was in the countryside. I have another friend who visited me 2 times since liberation. In the old days, when he was stone broke, he asked me to lend him $1. I gave him 3 without asking anything in exchange. In those days, such disinterestedness was rare. My father believed that if you cared too much for others and not enough for yourself, you would be punished by both heaven and earth. My mother had different ideas. That's why nobody came to my father's funeral. But there was a crowd when my mother was buried. Once, members of the Gulahui secret society sacked our house. I had nothing against that because they themselves had been stripped bare. And I said just what I thought. Such thoughts even my mother found a bit indigestible. I had 2 brothers, both killed by the Kuomintang. Wife and sister, too, killed by the Kuomintang. Nephew also killed by the Kuomintang. I had a son dead in Korea, killed by bombs of the American imperialists. Almost my whole family has been wiped out. Only I remain. It would be false to say that I'm a Marxist-Leninist by origin. False to say I understand everything. I believed in idealism and plenty of other isms. I lost a great many battles. I can't keep count of my mistakes. It's defeats and mistakes educated me. Mistakes of others, too. We've got to say it. Me, my universities were not Peking University nor the National University. My university was the jungle. That's where I learned something. Oh, sure, I studied Confucius for 6 years, and then all those classics. I learned to recite them by heart without learning anything. I had an iron faith in things Confucius said. I was only interested in natural and social sciences of the bourgeoisie. Pedagogy, studied that too. 5 years of normal school, 2 years of teaching in secondary schools. Not to mention that all this time I was also a librarian. In those days, I believed in the dualism of Kant, above all in idealism. Originally partisan of the feudal system, then hooked on ideas of bourgeois democracy, I was pushed into revolution by society. I was a teacher in a small primary school, even taught history and Chinese in college, but didn't learn a thing. When I joined the Communist Party and threw in my lot with the revolution, I only knew you had to do it, had to make revolution. Against whom? The old society and imperialism, of course. But what was imperialism? I knew a lot of nothing about that, and how to go about it, I had no idea. Some people like us participated in the democratic revolution of 1911 led by Sun Yat-sen. We were soldiers. I was in the student movement and struggled against the government. I organized mass movements and fought foreign aggression, but I was not prepared to found any communist party. I knew neither Marx nor Lenin. I believed in Confucius. I believed in idealism, had faith in the duality of Kant. Later things changed. The Communist Party was founded in 1921. 70 members of the party, and that for the whole country. First Congress in 1921. 12 delegates were elected. I was one of the delegates. Except those who became traitors, all have sacrificed their lives. From the foundation of the party in 21 up until the Northern Expedition in 27, the only thing we knew was that we wanted to make revolution. I repeat it, I'm a person who did not know how to make war. I was a teacher by profession. Who taught me to make war? First, Chiang Kai-shek. Afterwards, the Japanese army. Finally, American imperialism. We must thank these professors. It's no great shakes to make war. I've done it for 25 years, and I haven't even been wounded. I've passed from total incomprehension to total comprehension, from military ignorance to military know-how. We've always got the dead in war. In 25 years, our Chinese army and people have had millions of them, tens of millions of dead and wounded. But you're going to tell me the more war, the less Chinese. Well, take a look. There are 600 million of us now. That's quite a few. Chiang Kai-shek collaborated with us in the Northern Expedition in 26 and 27. In 27, he massacred the communists, swept away at one stroke the strong syndicates with their millions of adherents, obliterated the peasant unions with tens of millions of men. Chiang Kai-shek was the first who taught us war. At one blow, we were knocked out for 10 years. From generation to generation, the directors of our party have all made mistakes. First, Chender Shu, he became a Trotskyist. Next, Xiang Zhongfa and Li Li San. Xiang Zhongfa became a traitor and ran away. The third generation, that of Chen Xiaoyu, lasted the longest, 4 years. Why were all the southern bases lost? Why was the Red Army of 300,000 men reduced to 25,000? Just because of the wrong-headed line of Chen Xiaoyu. Our worst time was the Long March. Ambushes in front, hounding of the masses behind. Our troops were decimated. The areas under our control shrank. The party grew smaller. Of our 10 fingers, all but one had been chopped off. The fourth generation was that of Zhang Wen-tian. After him, me. When there were rightists in the party, I was on the left. But when left opportunists seized the party, I was called a right opportunist. Nobody paid any attention to me. They left me in a corner like a lonely widow, a wallflower. I used to talk about the far-sighted Buddha. People threw in a manure pit until he stank to high heaven. Later, during the Long March, we held a conference at Zuni. That's when I, the stinking Buddha, came up smelling of sainthood. Why do we want to thank the Japanese army? Because the Japanese invasion gave us a chance to collaborate again with Chiang Kai-shek. In 8 years, our army grew from 25,000 soldiers to 1,200,000. We controlled areas with 100 million people. Tell me, don't you think that's worth a thank you? Yan'an had only 7,000 inhabitants, plus a few organizations and troops, 20,000 in all. Around us was a little agriculture, a little cottage industry. Compared to the weight of the big cities, they were but a feather. From 1934 to 44, we used one method, the campaign of rectification, and applied a line we called punish past errors to prevent new ones, cure the illness to save the man, unity, criticism, unity, to convince the comrades who had gone wrong. Afterwards, in the North, we established many bases. We developed the army, developed the party, developed the mass organizations, and the people of the North won the land. We were surrounded by Chiang Kai-shek and the Japanese, sliced up into a dozen different bases. Under difficult circumstances, who proved stronger? Yan'an or Nanking, us or Chiang Kai-shek? Now it seems we were stronger. If not, why are we able to hold this meeting today in Peking? And why is it Jiang fled to Taiwan? Who won the victory? Jiang had not attacked us, we would not have attacked him. He had an army of 4 million plus American aid. Our bases were vast but dispersed, and we got absolutely no aid from outside. Don't ever get into a war for which you're not prepared. If supplies are not at hand, if soldiers are not trained, you'd better not start anything. This battle is a revolutionary movement of the whole country. You've got to direct it just as in the War of Liberation, just as in the campaigns of Liaoshen, Jingzhou, Huaihai, or the Yangtze Crossing. The great campaigns of the War of Liberation ended up in national victory. We have liberated Peking, Tientsin, Jinan, and all the large cities. Little by little, our forces have grown to several million men, and we advanced from north to south. Once we entered towns, the central power was scattered, and everyone went into business for himself. Stalin made some mistakes about China, and they weren't little mistakes. We are a large country with some hundreds of millions of people. He was against our revolution, against our capture of power. Nothing in this world is completely pure. Impurity is absolute. From this comes the union of opposites. You can sweep for 24 hours out of 24, but there will always remain some dust. After liberation, we saw suddenly surge up Cao Kong, Raoul Shi, Peng Dehuai. Could they have destroyed us? Not anymore. Though Minister of Defense for 7 years, Peng Dehuai could not destroy the Popular Army of Liberation. No matter how high a ranking official, the moment he comes out against the party, there's no longer any hope for him. Liu Shaoji and his kind also wanted to bust at the party, but they haven't succeeded. As for me, sometimes I'm not proud of myself. It happens sometimes I lose confidence in myself. I have always thought when the tiger is away, the monkey will proclaim himself king. I've become a little that kind of king. Although it's not eclecticism, I'm tiger and monkey at the same time. In me, the tiger dominates. The monkey is only secondary. Disorder in the empire leads to order in the empire. That happens again every 7 or 8 years. The monsters and the vipers will show themselves again. Unable to escape their class nature, they can only crawl out of their holes. I never believed the little books that I wrote could have such supernatural powers. Now the Lin Biao has praised them to the skies, the whole country is doing the same thing. I've got the impression I'm peddling my own junk, but truly I'm being constrained. Well, it seems it's not possible to disagree with them, and it's the first time in my life that in an important matter I've given my agreement against my will. I am someone who has confidence in himself while having no confidence in himself. Self-importance is easy to pull down, purity easy to pollute. When you sing White Snow in Spring, few will sing along with you. Fact is poorer than fame. These two sayings suit me to a T. At the conference last April in Hangzhou, I expressed my disagreement with the way my friend Lin Biao looks at things. But what can one do? At the May conference in Peking, he kept on saying the same thing. In the newspapers, it was still more terrible. Things got out of hand. But facts always trip you up. The higher you fly, the harder you fall. Me, I'm ready to be smashed to smithereens. But what good would that do? Matter is indestructible. I will find myself again in little pieces, and that's all. In the world, there are more than 100 parties. The great majority don't believe in Marxism-Leninism. They have turned Marx and Engels into a soup for cats. With stronger reasons, why not us? This great cultural revolution is like an army maneuver. Maneuvers on a national scale. Left, right, or hesitant center, all can draw useful lessons from it. In conclusion, I have only two things to say. The future is radiant, but the road is tortuous. A wall newspaper, a single red guard, a girl, and the whole country shook with fever. 10 years of order were upset, and all the comrades at the center or in the provinces, all quite happy with their acquired status, began to panic. There it is, 2 years of cultural revolution, struggle, criticism, reform. And now there is no struggle, no criticism, no reform. Struggle is one thing, but you want armed struggle. People are not happy, workers are not happy, peasants are not happy. The majority of students in your own schools are not happy. Even some of your own followers are not happy. People of Lin Biao are even worse than those of Peng De Huai. You can just see their dirty minds. In 7 or 8 years, we will start a new movement to sweep away the monsters and the vipers. And after that, we'll sweep them away again and again and again. When will it be possible to reveal what I tell you here? I still know too little. Neither the left nor the masses are ready to hear what I have to say. Perhaps when I'm dead.